Learning how to prioritize right now. Learn and take a look at things from a different angle. Sometimes that's helpful. So maybe ask yourself some questions. For example, how is prioritizing a problem for you? It might be something about setting priorities. Then, in that case, how to figure out what's more important could come into play. Other times, it might be more about taking action when other attractive things come up. That seems to be more about focus and getting distracted from what matters to you. There's a lot of ways that prioritizing can be a problem. Figuring out what it is for you can take some detective work. And figuring out then what pieces you need to work on can take some thought. Whatever you may decide ahead of time, prioritizing really comes down to how you act in the present moment, right now. How do you do at prioritizing on your easier days? That's a place to start. Look at a day that goes well. For example, today may be going smoothly. In smooth sailing days that don't present you with significant challenges, are you able to act on what matters to you? On the things that you say are your priorities? Consider this question from 3 different perspectives where you might be prioritizing. Look at how you act on good days, regarding your finances, your health, and your relationships. Those are areas that people are quite often interested in improving and where prioritizing can make a difference in your life, a big impact. How well do you do with your finances, health, and relationship in terms of prioritizing on your very best days? For finance, on those better days, are you doing the spending behaviors that you've identified as being useful for your long-term dreams? Are you acting in a way that lets you put money aside for the savings you decided to do? Are you learning about the investments you decided to look into? For your health, on those good days, are you doing the exercise behaviors that you've chosen as being in your best interests? Are you including that one about, pushing away from the table at mealtimes once you've eaten all that you want to eat? Do you make wise choices about the nutritional value of what you do put on your plate? And for your relationships, on days when things are going well, are you making the time to connect with the people you care about? Are you finding ways to interact that fit into the lives of people that you've realized really matter to you? Are you being creative in choosing to sit down in person, talk on the phone, or act upon some other form of communicating? Prioritizing well requires that you consider these kinds of questions, especially on days that go well, because that's when you're more able to reach for your ideal behavior and therefore more able to diagnose what the problem might be. And a diagnosis comes from asking good questions. Asking good questions gets you closer to the results you want. If you're doing well on the days that go well, perhaps your problem with prioritizing is more related to how you handle the bumps in life, those days that don't go as well. As in, coming up with a game plan for how to handle interruptions and attractive alternatives that arise and tempt you into different behavior. Might be the place for you to look at. Getting back to your commitments after emergency and urgent situations have been handling. If you're not doing well with choosing to follow through on what you choose as your priority, on days when your life flows along pretty well, maybe your problem with prioritizing has to do with being honest with yourself. As in, perhaps you may not have yet done all that you need to do to discover what really and truly does matter to you. There are many ways you can get better at prioritizing. Asking yourself good questions is a helpful way to start. Learning to ask those questions can get you on the right path, and being honest in your answers to yourself is the best way to follow through. When you want success at prioritizing and when you really want to learn how to do it, if you work at it, you will get closer and closer to what works best for you. You can do it. By the way, do you want to learn more? If so, join the email list here at software-enterprise.com. You'll get an instant training by audio, and you'll get email training to follow. Thanks for being here. This is Cynthia Ann Layton, owner of Software Enterprise.